Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we're continuing north on US Highway 1, still concurrent with State Road 5, beginning around mile 420.3 as we cross into the city of Ormond Beach in northern Volusia County on Florida's Atlantic coast. As we enter town, US-1 carries the local name South Yonge Street, a 4-lane divided arterial with a landscape median that serves as one of the city's main inland corridors. Ormond Beach grew in the late 19th and early 20th centuries as a winter resort along the Halifax River, later gaining fame for early automobile speed trials on the nearby beach that helped give neighboring Daytona Beach its world center of racing reputation. The city had a population of around 43,000 at the 2020 census, and recent estimates place it in the mid-40,000 range, reflecting steady growth as this part of Volusia County continues to fill in between the river and I-95. With that, we'll follow US-1 through Ormond Beach as it heads toward the Flagler County line. Ahead, US-1 comes to a major signalized intersection with State Road 40, better known locally as Granada Boulevard, named for a luxury compact automobile marketed by Ford in the late 1970s. SR40 is a key east-west route stretching nearly 92 miles across north-central and east-central Florida from US 41 at Denellen through Ocala National Forest and into Ormond Beach, where it crosses the Intracoastal Waterway on the high-level Rockefeller Memorial Bridge to reach State Road A1A and the Atlantic shoreline. Granada Boulevard forms the historic heart of Ormond Beach, with riverfront parks and the Casements, John D. Rockefeller's former winter home, clustered near the bridge. North of this junction, the local street name along our route changes to North Yonge Street as US-1 continues to parallel the Halifax River corridor just inland. A short distance beyond Granada Boulevard, US-1 bends to the left as it threads through the older commercial strip on the north side of Ormond Beach. North Yonge Street, however, continues straight ahead on its original alignment for several blocks as a separate city street, no longer tying directly into the main line of US-1, even though it stays close by in the same corridor. Historical mapping and local accounts indicate that this configuration dates back nearly a century, with the modern disconnection at the corner of Hernandez Avenue and US-1 created by a city and FDOT project in the 1990s. So while the two routes still share the same general corridor name and some references, the main through traffic follows the sweeping curve of US-1, while North Yonge Street serves adjacent neighborhoods as a lower-speed local street. As we leave the denser part of Ormond Beach, development begins to thin out on either side of the roadway, and US-1 takes on more of a suburban to rural feel as it angles inland toward Interstate 95. The highway remains 4 lanes divided, but traffic volumes can fluctuate dramatically during special events, and in this case we're traveling during Daytona Bike Week, when thousands of motorcycles fan out along US-1 between venues like Destination Daytona, Main Street in Daytona Beach, and other rally hotspots. Approaching the I-95 interchange, you may notice traffic slowing and bunching up as vehicles queue through the signals and ramps that tie US-1 into the interstate. Just beyond the overpass, this will be the first time in our US-1 series that the route briefly swings to the west side of I-95 rather than staying closer to the Barrier Island and Riverfront Corridor, a reminder of how the two north-south routes weave around each other along Florida's east coast. North of the I-95 crossing, the surroundings quickly grow more rural, with long stretches of woods lining US-1 as we leave the urbanized edge of Volusia County behind. Before long, we cross the Flagler County line and enter what may be the most rural-feeling portion of US-1 we've seen so far in this series, as the highway pulls farther from the Atlantic shoreline and the development pattern shifts to larger tracts of land and longer distances between cross streets. Flagler County was created in 1917 from parts of St. Johns and Volusia counties and was named for Henry Flagler, the railroad and resort magnate whose Florida East Coast Railway opened much of this coast to development. The county seat is the small city of Bunnell, inland on US-1, while the largest city is Palm Coast, closer to the shore, and the county's population has grown from about 96,000 in 2010 to well over 130,000 by the mid-2020s, making it one of Florida's faster-growing coastal counties. Median household income here is in the low to mid $70,000 range as of the early 2020s, reflecting a mix of working families, retirees, and commuters drawn by relatively affordable housing in proximity to both Jacksonville and the Daytona area. We wrap up this segment of our drive on US-1 northbound in Flagler County around mile 432.6, still in a largely rural setting between Ormond Beach and the first developed areas closer to the Palm Coast. This marks the end of today's ride along the inland side of Florida's Atlantic coast. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment below, share and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.